evening, teacher.
Good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, Julian.
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, Victor, Carolina. Good evening, Angelica.
Good evening.
Everyone.
Okay, guys, so it's really nice to see you one more time. As Julian said, this is going to be the last time that we are going to be here, sharing in this virtual space. So before we start, I want to tell you that it's been a pleasure for me to have these 8 weeks with you, to share, to talk, to practice, because this is a practice for me as well. So thank you so much, guys. You have been a wonderful group, and we are going to start. So are you ready?
Yes.
I am.
Okay, nice to know. Okay, so according to the video that we are supposed to watch every 8 days, tonight we are going to work on IELTS speaking part number 3. That's the only thing that we are going to do tonight. We are going to practice doing something very similar to the thing that you observed or watched on that video. But before we start, I want to know if you watched that video and if you have some ideas about that video. So who wants to talk? Okay, Julian, go.
Okay. The video was very interesting. In a little so I will try to do it. According to the video, I could understand that we have some important aspects. For example, it's very important to think about the question, to take our time, give complete, full answers. Okay, the question given by the examiner. We will be evaluated through the wide range of vocabulary and grammar. And the most important is to be punctual, okay, according to the question given by the examiner. It's necessary to be logical, make our sentences, our speaking very simple, using good grammar. And finally, I could understand that we can pretend combines ourselves that is an interesting answer for us. One no more.
Okay, Julian, thank you. Yeah, that's pretty much what we can see on that video. So thank you so much. Okay, guys, so someone else?
Hey, teacher. Can I?
Okay, Angelica, go.
Okay, this video was very useful for me because I could understand some recommendations to get a better score in IELTS speaking preparation exam. So we could see an example about an interview. In an interesting part of this exam is talking about events and important celebrations in our life, right? And the way to get or by time or some word that we have to avoid while we're speaking. It was really interesting for me.
Okay, Angelica, thank you so much. So good evening, Luis. Welcome. We are discussing the different topics that we could see on that video. So do you want to talk about it?
So good evening, everybody. So I think it's about the same. Our partners already talked about events in our lives in 3 different sections, and that's it. I think it's a discussion we've been having over and over again, I guess. My modest.
Okay. So guys, someone else? Victor, Carolina?
For me, no, I forgot to see the video.
Okay, it's okay. Victor, did you see the video?
Yes, I try to understand that we must give specific answers sometimes.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much for your points of view. So I also watched the video. I have some things to say. Well, as Luis mentioned it, you have said almost all, but however, I don't want to say it. So basically, what I watched on that video, and I think it's important, was the strategy the girl or the woman used when she said something like, "Well, that's an interesting question. So I need some seconds to think about it," because that's a good way, according to the video, to
Right time.
buy some time, and that way maybe you can organize your ideas for maybe 5 seconds or 10. And even though maybe we can think that 5 seconds are nothing, sometimes that can be the difference between having a good score or a low score. So in my opinion, it's a good strategy. I haven't used it in my life, but I'm going to. Okay, also something interesting as well is your face, you know. I mean, it's the way you look at the person who is in front of you. I really like that part when the guy said something like, well, you need to be interested about the question, show that you really like the topic, because sometimes when we talk and when we are in this kind of tests, even if we are not scared, sometimes we look like we are indifferent to the topic, or maybe we don't like it. So I think it's a good strategy to trying to smile, to be a nice person, to show that you really like the topic, to talk about it. So I think it's a good way. So I also like that part. I think it's a good advice. And besides that, well, is what Julian and Angelica just mentioned, as well as Victor. So that's it. That's what I believe from this video, and we are going to practice. As Luis said, we are going to do it over and over again because it's the way it is, you know, it's practicing. So let's start, guys. Basically, in part 3, we did it some weeks ago, but that day I think it was like the 3 parts in the same night, and it was very brief. So tonight we are going just to focus on part 3. It's going to take maybe 4 or 5 minutes. It depends on how many questions you can answer. And it's going to be the same. I'm going to ask a question, you are going to answer, and then I'm going to ask and ask and ask for about 4 or 5 minutes. And these questions are going to be similar to the ones that you watch on the video. And basically, that's what we are going to do tonight. Okay? So who wants to start?
Me could be.
Okay, Victor, thank you. So I'm going to use my cell phone so I can have 5 minutes on the clock. And now I'm going to look for the questions. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So, Victor, ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so this is the question for you. Victor, we are going to talk about something that is very important for you. Okay, so it can be an object, or it can be a picture, or it can be a moment in your life. Okay, it can be whatever you think it's extremely important for you. And the first question is, who was the person that gave that object or picture or whatever to you?
Repeat the question.
Yeah. So we are talking about something really important for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is, who was the person that gave you that important thing?
I don't know who was a group of persons. I think my students last year, for example, gave me a book. Obviously, it is not so much expensive or an expensive thing, but it was the moment in my birthday. Maybe my students, for example, decided to give me a book. I don't remember this the name of the author of that, but it was I forgot it. But the important thing is that the student have that initiative to give me a book.
Okay, interesting. And what is this book about?
Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the author.
Yeah.
I like so much in the past Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I remember so well. I read this book long ago, and I would like to try to read again this book. Just now I'm reading again. It is interesting.
Oh, really? Well, you know, I haven't read that book, so can you please tell me a little bit about that book?
About that book?
Yeah.
It is an interesting book because it tells a history of a case of a crime. I don't know how can I say crimen, but it was never solved, or it is not clear in that. But the history is developed in parts. I don't know. It is special, this book of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, because you can imagine during all book, for example, the final, but it is difficult to decipher, we can say. And finally, we cannot understand, or we cannot define specifically what happens in that case.
Okay. Okay, Victor, so you received the book from your students, and can you please explain what does that book mean to you?
The lecture. So that, for example, when I was young, I read a lot of books of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and I read a lot of books of different kind of books, novels, of philosophy, or books of different kind of historical books. So that a book for me is so important. Sometimes, specifically when I like those books, because we must understand that there are a lot of books that are not interesting. But in this case, Gabriel Garcia Marquez is so much interesting when we are reading this author. So that to have that book is important for me, for the author, for the way that the author tell us the history. That is the reason why, for example, a book is so important for me.
Okay, so let's say that your students, they saved some money and they bought the book with the money. So do you think money is very important in life?
In some aspects, yeah. We can't avoid, for example, to think that money is important, but it is not so much. It is, how can I say in this case, for example, you need the money, but it does not mean happiness, excuse me. So that it is important to have a salary, I consider, for example, but it is not, for me, it is not so much important to be rich.
Okay, Victor, thank you so much. We completed 5 minutes on the clock. Good answers. Thank you, man.
All right.
Okay, so who wants to go now? Who wants to be number 2?
Me.
Okay. Okay, Luis, so here we go. So we are going to talk about your neighborhood and your neighbors. So the first question is, what do you think about your neighbors?
Okay. First of all, I think they're very good people, although, for example, I don't have so much touch with them because traditionally we're busy working during the week. So the only time when we can see each other or one another maybe on the weekend just for a couple of times. Although sometimes, for example, with my closest neighbor, who is Nelson, we sometimes get together. He comes to my place or I go to his place when we have a couple of beers, then talking, socializing, and watching sports games, especially, and listening to music at the same time. The do our wives in this case. So this is essentially what we do. And with the others, they live, for example, I don't know, they're quite busy. So as I told you before, so just say hello, in and out when going leaving home in the morning, and when coming back in the after evening, saying hello, how are you, how was your day, and that's it. But maybe in December we're going to socialize a little bit more. It's time to be together and share a little bit more.
Okay, and can you define a bad neighbor and a good neighbor?
Oh well, that's a very interesting question. For I don't know. Let's say, for example, a bad neighbor. A neighbor, it could be someone that maybe is kind of mean or stubborn, maybe someone who doesn't like to share with others or likes to play loud music all the time, disturbing the other neighbors. On the other hand, a good neighbor is someone who is helpful, thoughtful, someone who likes to share with you and cares about you. So I think maybe to some extent we are a little bit of everything else. Sometimes we are good neighbors, and other time in other situations we could turn into bad neighbors.
Okay, that's very interesting. And do you think that maybe one of your neighbors can become a really good friend of yours?
Why not? Yeah. For example, as I told you before, with my neighbor Nelson, he's a good friend. He's from a town originally, but he's been living in the city for quite a long time. Although I was born here in the city, for example, let me tell you, once like 3 months ago, we went to his hometown. We had a good time there. We visited his mom, and we, walk around the town and had a couple of beers. So yeah, he knows a lot of things about me, and the same way I know a couple of things about him. So I think, yeah, a neighbor could turn into a good friend, definitely.
Okay, and now that you have talked about a town, maybe a small place, place without not so many people, I have a question for you. Do you think that is it easier to find good neighbors in a small town or maybe in a big city?
Well, I think it's about the same. In a small town, maybe, for example, at school, or the place you work, even though, in a small town, everybody seems to know each other pretty well. In contrast, or no, not in contrast, but in the same way, in a big city, you can have also good friends, for example, at work or at university, or even your neighbor. It really doesn't matter whether you live in a town or a city. Either place, you're going to find good friends.
Okay, and a final question for you. So nowadays it's very easy to find people who have problems with their neighbors, who argue all the time. So do you think it's a way that maybe we can improve the way we talk to each other, the way we have our relations in social life?
So you mean that sometimes we argue or fall out with neighbors?
Yeah, sometimes we are very stressed because of life. Sometimes we are mean to people.
Oh yeah. So I don't know, but if you, for example, let's say, for example, you try to greet your neighbor, and he or she replies back to you, you need to understand maybe nobody knows what he or she is going through at that moment. I think the best thing to do is to stop and think and maybe talk it over with him or her. But I think it's not a good idea to react immediately, because nobody knows what's going on in everybody's mind. But that's that would be like a piece of advice. Also, nobody's happy 100% of the times. We as human beings, we have ups and downs. So I think it relies more on to be patient and supportive with our neighbors. So that way we're going to avoid, for example, the violence, or maybe do things that maybe we're gonna regret at a later time.
Okay, Luis, thank you. That's a very good piece of advice, you know, to stop violence. Because sometimes when someone doesn't say hello, we try or we tend to be mean to that person in the future. So that's not the way. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, guys, so who wants to continue?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Angelica, thank you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so in this case, in this moment, we are going to talk about shopping centers. And the first question for you is, do you go to shopping centers in your city?
Yes, I do. I usually go to shopping centers every weekend because I really enjoy it. I usually go
Okay.
with my boyfriend and I really enjoy it.
Okay, and do you have different shopping centers in your city?
And yes, I have a lot of shopping centers here in Facatativa.
Okay.
And
And what is the name of the one that you visit a lot?
the first one is spring, another is summer, another is um, Plaza Nova Center. That's a mall. And
Okay.
one of my favorite is that.
So your favorite one is Plaza Moda?
Yes,
Okay.
it's
Okay, and why is Plaza Moda your favorite one? What is the difference between Plaza Moda and the rest?
Plaza Mall is a good place to go to shopping because we can find a lot of stores and different kind of clothes. So I really love dresses, and I can find there a lot of colors, shapes, and really new styles of clothes. So in the other places, I usually find the same clothes, the same colors, the same styles. Uh, and even I love them, of course, but I prefer to change the way I look. So for that reason, is my favorite one.
Okay, now talking about shopping centers and businesses and shops and convenience stores. So now that we have so many shopping centers in our cities, do you think small shops or small stores will survive in the future?
Yes, maybe
Why?
because it's a good way to get money for them.
Well, of course, but do you think that, for example, let's say a small mini market or something like that in your neighbor can have good opportunities in comparison to the shopping center?
Yes, and I would like to. It will be different because we usually need, or I'm sorry, we really need to get food and to supply our needs. I'm sorry. So I believe shopping and other things like clothes or bags or another things that we like, that's not really useful for us. Right? The most important thing is avoiding to spend a lot of money in the things that we don't need and to get a better comprehension and spending our money with the really things that we need, like food or like I don't know, some things that we need in our houses.
Okay, so talking about going to different places and buy stuff, buy food, buy clothing, and all that stuff, do you like to go online shopping?
No, no, because I usually wear the clothes that I'm going to buy. If I buy by online way, I can't. Yes, or maybe that I'm going to buy something, but it it can be different. that I saw in the online shop.
Okay, do you think that online shopping has a future for different people?
Yes, not for me, but I believe by online shopping, it's a good way to get new things. Not for me because I really enjoy dressing, wearing the clothes or wearing all objects that I want to buy. But the most of people usually prefer buying in online shopping.
Okay, thank you, Angelica. Thank you so much. We completed 5 minutes on the clock. Okay,
Thank you.
so Carolina, ready for the exercise?
Yes.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for the exercise?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. Okay, Carolina, so we are going to talk about animals, okay? So
Okay.
I want you to tell me what is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is
Excuse me, can you repeat? Carolina.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, don't worry. Can you repeat, please, your answer?
Yes. My favorite animal is lion.
Oh, it's a lion. Okay. Okay. And why is that your favorite animal?
It's my favorite animal because it's very strong. It's fast. It's it's beautiful. Yeah. It's powerful. I like your felt feathers.
My?
No, you. Sorry, it's feathers.
It's?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, can you repeat what do you like? You said something I like it's...
El pelaje. Your.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you. So do you think you like the animal, you like the lion because you are similar to the lion in somehow?
And repeat, please.
Yeah. The question is this. Do you think that you like the lion because you are similar to the lion?
No.
Or maybe because you want to be like the lion?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you
Yes.
explain that, please?
I don't say you explain this this question this answer. Sorry.
Yeah, for example, you can say something like, well, the lion is brave, so I want to be brave in my life. You understand?
Yeah, but I don't. I only like. Um, yes, it's sorry. So it's no character. Sorry, important in my life, but only I like.
Okay. So, can you imagine how is or what kind of things a lion need?
Yeah, I I will be, but no, that my lion have no never grow out. Yeah.
Always in your house.
Uh, yeah. Yes. But
Okay, what else?
it's impossible. But I think I will be this.
Okay, and what do you think about the zoo?
Um, uh, for me, an interesting the zoo that is opportunity. The people and now the other kind of animals and your habit. And for me, it's very interesting.
And do you think it's better to have a lion in a zoo or to have a lion in the jungle?
I prefer in the jungle, but I think that the learn about the your habit, about the sorry, it's habit, and other complement the information of this animal. I think that the it's important you see um, and now in personal of kind animals.
Okay, so we completed 5 minutes on the clock. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys, we are going to have a second round of questions. According to the learning guide, this session is just to practice with this kind of questions, okay? So,
I told
Julian.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Teacher. Teacher.
Yes, Julian.
I have to do the same. Really? Right? Because you haven't asked to me.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Can you repeat?
It's my turn.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
ready for the question?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. Okay. So, ready for the questions? Let's go. Okay, Julian, so we are going to talk about important inventions. Okay, but these inventions the invention that we are going to talk about needs to be before the age of computer.
Before what?
Before the age of computer, or before the first computer in the world.
For example, the cell phone?
Well, maybe, probably, I'm not sure. But let's talk about the cell phone. So, what do you think about the cell phone?
Okay. Well, I think this is the best technological resource or tool to have communication with people around the world. We can interact through this medium, and we can use it when we need to talk, for example, with our family, with friends, or or what we need. It is very useful in our life, for example, because we can make business through this cell phone, and uh, we can share, for example, images or documents, files through this.
Okay, well, you mentioned different good things about cell phones, but you think that maybe that there are some disadvantages about this invention?
Yeah, we have some disadvantage. For example, if we are talking on the cell phone, we can be assaulted. Okay, because there are expensive cell phones. And they look really beautiful, so we can be assaulted. If we don't take care of them on the street. And
What do you?
this is one of the disadvantages. Okay, security.
Okay.
About security. The second one is about signal. So, for example, Tigo or Claro. I don't know. There are companies that don't have good signal to communicate. So this is another disadvantage about this topic.
What do you think about health? You think that maybe cell phones can affect your health?
Yeah, because we are exposed to the radioactivity, right? We are exposed. For example, when we are charging our cell phone all night, it's probable that can explode, and we have some cases in Bogota. So we have, uh, and it is dangerous. It is dangerous for us sometimes.
Okay. So, Julian, we are exposed to different inventions nowadays. Technology is always changing our lives. So, do you
Mhm.
think that maybe life in the past was different, maybe easier, or do you think that life in these days is better?
Nowadays is better, of course, because in past the people didn't have a lot of opportunities to have communications or to be uh, current, okay, to know current aspects or current tools. So I consider life in past was more difficult than nowadays.
Okay. And do you think you can live without cell phones, or is it impossible for you?
For me, I consider that it's impossible. No, because I like it for business. That's the most important reason for me. So more than communication or socialize, no, I really need it to make business.
Yeah, but do you use the cell phone to talk, or maybe you use it to surf the internet or to send messages, videos?
I use it for everything. For example, watching videos when I have to communicate with my aunt in the United States. Sometimes I use it, and I like it to play. Defending the castle. This is an interesting game for me because I have to create towers around next to a big road. Monsters are walking through this way, so I have to eliminate them with canyons or soldiers, whatever. So I use it to play too.
Okay, you really need the cell phone. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I really like it.
Okay. Okay, let's continue. So who's next, Luis or Victor?
I can do it if you want to.
Okay, Luis, thank you. Yeah, let's complete the second round. Okay, so Luis, we are going to talk about pictures. Okay, so in this case, we are going to talk about your favorite picture. So can you tell us where was that picture taken?
So for now, the picture I love the most was my graduation ceremony in 1998. Even though I didn't have the chance to graduate myself at that time because I had to go to the compulsory military service, but I we took that picture a week before the event, so it's one of the greatest memories I have because it touches my heart, and thinking about the idea that I couldn't be there just because my own fault. So I still have it like a treasure. So that's why my biggest talent now is to get my diploma and get a different ceremony right now at the university at a higher level.
Okay, and do you remember who took the picture?
I was our, let's say, coordinator at the time. So we were, let's say, for example, stand up and let's say be ready for the picture. We were very excited. We were wearing a special, costume that day. So it was really amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, and can you tell us what can be seen in that picture exactly?
So you can see like that picture, like about 30 student lineup, from the shorter people, from the shortest student to the tallest. So in me, I think I am on the second line. So yeah, it was a pretty in the background. It was like a big wall that was this big, kind of, let's say, was like a banner or something. And like graduation ceremony 1998. Student Samuel Barrento Restrepo. That was the name of school at the time.
Hey, Luis, now that we are talking about pictures and the good moments that maybe we could have doing that, so do you have some suggestion for us so we can take good pictures?
Oh well, that's a very difficult. I'm not pretty good at taking pictures. I think that is not my skill, but I don't know. Depends. These days, people like, for example, take kind of pictures themselves, like selfish. I don't know. I think that the most important when it comes to taking picture maybe is the background that you want to show off to your, to your acquaintances and relatives. I don't know, maybe in 10 years when you consider that take out your camera or your cell phone and just do it and take it. But maybe the background I will consider is important to keep in mind when taking pictures.
Okay, and well, you mentioned it's something important. You mentioned it that maybe you can use your cell phone or maybe a camera. So which one do you prefer and why?
Well, you're talking about gadgets to take pictures?
No, I'm talking about professional cameras instead of cell phones. So do you think it's
Right?
better?
You're talking about gadgets?
Well, you mean like cameras, professional cameras?
Okay, I think nowadays people feel. Uh-huh. No, I think people nowadays feel more comfortable with their own cell phones, with their own smartphones, since they have the chance, or for example, features that can improve the pictures with the, for example, let's say a cell phone has a good resolution of pixels, so the pictures are going to be, quite good, and you can modify it if you wish to. So also you can, for example, let's suppose you are going to take a picture with your own friends, and you can modify their faces and have fun of it. So I think nowadays cell phones are a good options to take pictures instead of the brand camera, whatever it is.
Do you think that maybe in the future this kind of professional cameras are going to disappear
Did
because
you
of
hear
cell
me?
phones? Yeah, I'm doing it perfectly.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Liz? Liz, can you hear me?
Yes, I did. I finished, but I didn't listen to you respond to me. So I don't know. Maybe I thought something was wrong. I was telling you that these days people prefer their own cell phone because they are, for example, better when it comes to taking pictures. Let's say, for example, you are with your friends, and you're going to take a picture of yours. So you just take it and you can modify the faces, for example, in a funny way. So everybody's going to have a good time. So regardless of a brand camera, whatever, an Nikon or whatever, or a Canon. So I think people prefer cell phones these days.
Okay, yeah, I heard that part when you just answered some minutes ago. But the final question, and thank you for your previous answer. The final question was, do you think that maybe in the future, the professional cameras like Canon and Sony and all those brands are going to disappear because of cell phones?
No, I don't think so because some people like to go out and sightsee and taking pictures, even though if they like it in an amateur way or in a professional way, I think they are not going to disappear. No matter what you do or no matter what the moment you have to take a picture. So that depends. But I don't think they're not going to disappear because, taking pictures is still a profession, and I think that profession is not going to disappear in the long run.
Okay, Luis, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, Victor, ready?
Sammy,
Okay,
ready? Yes.
okay, so let's do it. Okay, Victor, so we are going to talk about the university, all right? We are going to talk about the Bachelor in Teaching English as a Foreign Language. So the first question for you is, which one is the most important subject from all the subjects that you have studied in this career?
Sometimes there are a lot of important subjects, but the most important that I have learned in the university just now is maybe the ways how to teach little children. For example, the complete exposition to students to have good results. For example, I'm trying to get a try or trade. I don't know how can I say. Trying to have no 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 an ensayo, a trying with my students, for example, just now, because I'm spending the most of the time during the day with the students. I teach English from 8 until 3 o'clock on afternoon. Student is spending most of the time in the house. I consider, for example, and I'm trying to apply some subjects that I have learned in the university. So that, for example, days how to teach children is maybe one important subject that I have learned in the university.
Okay, so you just told me that you are trying to use all those theories and ideas from that subject with your children, with your students, right?
Yes.
Okay, and how do you feel about that? Do you think it's been good? It's been a good strategy that you have results?
Yes, of course. For example, just now, incredible results. Because, for example, when you are teaching in secondary, it is a little difficult. You are spending only 2 hours or maybe 3 hours, or maximum if you have complete journey or unique journey with a college. For example, you have maximum 4 hours with the students in secondary, and they don't learn almost so much in public education. But when you are spending time with only one group of students, for example, in my case, I'm the only teacher in that little school in the countryside, they are obligated to listen constantly Spanish, not English. Maybe I must mix English and Spanish, and it has been an important aspect, experience for me because I'm teaching English. I'm having results with my students. They are constantly having an interaction with me, with the teacher. An important experience, I think.
Okay, so this is a really interesting topic, you know, because it's like a social project. Like a research that you are doing right now. And I have a question for you. Do you teach first like the vocabulary and grammar structures and maybe some other stuff, or you just go and start talking with your students?
The most important is the exposition. I talk and talk and talk in Spanglish, not only English, because I started with them from August last year when I arrived to that school. But I teach every aspect of the language because the first things that you must teach when you are going to begin an interaction with your students is the fact, parts of the school, things of the classroom, things or parts of the countryside, members of the family, parts of the body, because you need to have a real interaction with them, and they need to know the vocabulary that usually we use in class. So that you must teach grammar, you must teach vocabulary, and you must expose the students constantly to the language, speaking Spanish. And I hope, for example, in some subjects as mathematics, for example, in mathematics, you can teach mathematics completely in English when you have exposed to your students during a complete year, because mathematics is mechanic, something mechanic. It is not the same case, for example, with science, or it is not the same case with history, because in science you must speak mostly in Spanish. They must understand the things, and you must explain constantly things to your students. But mathematics and English, for example, you can teach English completely in English, or you can teach mathematics.
Okay, thank you, Victor. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue. Angelica, ready for the questions?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, let's start. So, Angelica, we are going to talk about a beautiful city or maybe an interesting city that you like and that you have visited. It must be a different city from the one you live, okay? Facatativa, I guess you told us, right? Okay, so let's start. So, what is the name of that city that you like, that you have visited, and that you find very interesting for you?
That city is Salento. When I was
Salento.
visiting the cafeteria, it was
Okay.
very interesting to me because we can find a lot of colorful houses everywhere. It's a really beautiful and nice place to rest.
Okay, and can you tell us the story? I mean, how did you go there? How was it?
Of course, my last vacation started this year. I was visiting that place with my family and some friends. It was a really good experience. A lot of people from another countries, and I believe it's very useful for me because I could establish a lot of conversations in English with the native speakers from United States or other countries. Moreover, we can find different and beautiful houses everywhere. And, and I believe when we are going to buy some gift for our families, it's really difficult because they're expensive there. So we could go to waterfalls and go to
Sorry, can you repeat the last part? We can go to Angelica. Angelica. Okay, I guess she's having a problem right now with the internet connection. Okay, Carolina, so let's do it with you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start. Okay, we are going to talk about movies. So we are going to talk about your favorite movie.
Okay.
Okay, what's the name of that film, of that movie?
Yes. My favorite movie is and the Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill is the Bruce Willis.
Okay, yeah, I know that one. You know, in English, the name of that movie, if I'm not wrong, is Die Hard.
No, it would say in English.
Yeah, no, I know, and your translation is okay. But the name of the
Okay.
movie in English, when you go, for example, and you watch it in a different channel, is Die Hard.
Okay, okay.
Die Hard. Okay, that's a very good movie. Okay, and what do you like it? Why do you like it? Sorry, why do you like it?
Yes, I like it. The first is in the action movies. Yeah,
Okay.
I love the action movies because it has thriller. There is a lot of fight and it's very amazing that the fight with him that the other that the other person, and in the movie encounter a lot of bloom. Is the topic is interesting.
Okay, very interesting. And so the action movies are your favorite movies?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and do you like other kind of movies, for example, drama or scary movies?
No, scary movie I don't like. I like drama and fantasies. Yeah, fantasies.
Romantic?
Action, romantics. Yes, I love romantics. I don't say superación. Yeah, it's two.
Okay. Okay, and I have a question for you. So do you think American movies and Colombian movies are different?
Uh, I I don't think. I think that is equal to the American and South America and Europe and other. Is the only change is the language, I think.
Oh, you think so? So what about the special effects?
I don't say, but mm, it when the I say when the or the word forget when graba no when
And they
when
record?
the yes record, thank you, when they record the movies in Colombia, it's I think that it's more natural. Yeah. I don't space with the career, but the country is small in comparison with the American.
Okay, so in other words, you prefer Colombian movies instead of American movies.
No, I prefer American movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, when
Why?
Colombian movie is funny. Yeah, I love the American movie. Sorry, the Colombian movie, the funny movies because they speak your topic and you develop in the space, in the action, is the character. It's very very emotional. Now the aspect that the you live is very emotional. And in the American only because I think that the other place amazing is no, it's don't know, it's no more.
Okay, Carolina, thank you. Okay, so Angelica, are you ready to finish with 2 or 3 more questions? Angelica.
Tell me, teacher. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I believe
don't
I have
worry.
some troubles with the connection. I'm sorry, teacher. I was explaining my answers and I didn't understand what was happening.
Okay, don't worry. So can you please, so you were saying, oh, you were telling us how was the experience of going there and interacting with different people. Can you finish that part, please?
Okay. It was a really useful experience for me because I called more about that kind of places to walk with them. Yes, and we had fun. Yes, we could interact with the more people, and we stayed there for about a week, so we could visit some waterfalls And the most important place, I believe, or the my preferred is my favorite is the coffee park. It's it's a great park to go to rest, to go to share with our families. It was a great experience for me.
Okay, yeah, I know it's a beautiful place. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, so it's 9 o'clock. It's time to finish. This is the last encounter. As I told you, it was a pleasure for me. We are on Skype, so every time that you want to say hello and you want to talk for a while, please do not hesitate. Go and say hello. Okay, I will be there all the time. And I wish you the best. I hope all your dreams and all the things you want in life can come true. And thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
teacher.
much, teacher.
Okay, friends, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Night.
Bye bye, everyone.